Hey, have you ever wondered how the hell you're seeing this video right now? How the website that you're using with the mouse that you're touching and the keyboard that you're pressing is producing sound and video and light so that you can watch this entire thing and hear my voice come into your ears through headphones or through a speaker? No? Okay, great, because you might be worrying about too many things or worrying about how things work a little bit too much if you're feeling that way. What's up, guys? This is Matt from The Alive Company, and today we're going to talk about a little quote. If everything works, then why do we need to pay attention? Most things in life, honestly, are pretty set up for us. I understand if you're in a little bit of a rough situation financially right now, it might not be the case. But if you really think about society and how the world is right now, we are currently living in the best era of the world currently. We have healthcare, we have safety, we have food, access to food. Like, there's a lot of things. Obviously, it's not equal for everybody. It's difficult sometimes to survive out there. I understand that. But if you really look at it in terms of all of history and all of the context of existence, like, we're in a pretty decent spot. If everything works, then why should you worry about the systems that are there and are in place for us? I think that understanding and being able to understand how things work in a very specific and broader field is really important. And the only way to do that is by asking why, right? Why is a very, very difficult thing to ask, because why is almost like a no. Because when you say why, it's almost like you're saying no to reality. You're asking, why is this the thing the way it is? Why does that have to be the way it is? And like, you have to sometimes really encroach on the social standard and what people are saying, what people are thinking in order to do that, right? Guys, saying no and saying why will do one thing for you. It will save you a lot of money. So if everything works, why do we need to pay attention? It's because paying attention saves you a lot of money. It's the Christmas season right now. Everybody wants to buy new stuff. Everybody wants to get that nice gift for their family member or replace that old hardware that they have that doesn't work, or my laptop isn't working, my TV is too small. But guys, I need you to understand that most things you own are fixable. And I understand there's a thing called planned obsolescence, but there is also a way to get around planned obsolescence, and that's called using the internet and figuring it out. Because figuring it out is really, really not that hard sometimes. Like, let's say you have a broken phone screen. Let's say you have a car that needs an oil change. All of this information is available online for you to figure out and for you to do. Now, the average person probably will go out and pay for these services. They'll probably be somebody who their parents also paid for their services and their grandparents probably also pay for their services. But there's also somebody, probably maybe one of your friend groups or something like that, who didn't have the ability to pay for the services or had to figure it out on their own. So they had to figure out why this thing is the way it is. They had to pay attention. They saved money and they eventually learned a new skill, became better in quotations by gaining a new skill, by asking why and paying attention. So in the case of an oil change, right? You can go to get an oil change for, I think, about 50 or $100 at a local gas station or something like that, right? But the cost of the oil itself can be way less than that, like $30, $40, and you learn and gain a new skill when you actually go underneath your car, jack it up, and actually change the oil yourself. So how will you act in the face of there being no person to be there to change your oil? What will happen when things don't work? You need to be able to rely on yourself more than other people and more than other services. And I get it if you say, listen, I just, I don't have time. I don't actually have this. I don't have that. But listen, the act of learning a new skill is such a valuable investment. Again, on this topic of oil changes, oil changing not only your own car, but let's say your neighbor's car, will result in a whole cascade of events happening, and you'll be known as the guy who can change oils for cars. And once you start doing that, you can do it for people around your neighborhood. You can help other people. You can become a mechanic eventually. I'm not saying that's going to happen to you, but what I'm saying is you demonstrate value to society. You demonstrate value to yourself when you can actually accomplish and do things. And when everything works around you, you're not really thinking about that and you're not paying attention to it. So if you want to improve, if you want to get better, I really recommend paying attention to things that could break, are going to break, because everything has planned obsolescence. Everything needs to be maintained. And if you're the guy who or girl who can maintain and create and actually produce something out of it, I am certain that people will get value out of you and you will get value out of them. It's a shared and a mutual benefit, because if you're creating a product or service that people actually want, people actually need, you providing that is the best thing that you can do for yourself and just society as a whole. If everything works, then why do we need to pay attention? There is so much satisfaction that you get when you actually learn a new skill. Learning new skills has to be one of the best things that you can do for yourself, both mentally and physically. Like, if you need to learn a new skill, you can either learn from watching videos, learn from a person, or just like try it yourself and see what happens, right? Being able to actually admit to yourself that you don't know something and actually go out and search for knowledge is an amazing and a huge skill, because guys, again, a lot of the things around us just work for us, right? We go to the grocery store, we pick up food that has been processed, cleaned, cured, and just completely been produced and like kept for us, when in the past we had to hunt that food, we had to raise that food, we had to do a whole litany of things, and we would basically just survive trying to keep food and livestock alive. Think about it. Like, the amount of convenience that is in the world today is insane. Go back 400 years, go back 500 years, which really isn't a lot of time. And the entire world, the entire act of like doing things is just so different. I think not enough people understand that like a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of people had to die in order for us to get to the level that we're at right now. Listen, this is not a conversation about gratefulness, not a conversation about thanking your ancestors, anything like that. But this is just understanding that it was really hard, and there had to be a lot of smart people in order to get humanity to the level that it is at today. So how did those people become so knowledgeable? How did those people actually like get to the level they needed to be? It's by asking why, and it's by saying no. It's by Upton Sinclair saying, no, the quality of the meat packing industry has to be changed because this is like terrible. Like, listen guys, understanding and being able to see and actually observe a problem and fix that problem is such a huge skill. It will not only save you money, but it will make you a better person. It will make you appear more knowledgeable. It will bring people towards you. Back to that mechanic example, guys, being able to produce and provide a service to people is like one of the greatest gifts that you can give. Like, really, you need to be able to say to yourself that I can accomplish things and I have the confidence to be able to attack and do anything that's set out before me. Because that is such a valuable skill that not a lot of people have. A lot of people will just be like, well, I don't know how to do it, so I'm not going to do it. My laptop battery is broken. It's not charging anymore. Like, my laptop's broken. I just buy a new one. No, learn the skill on how to fix things. Learn how to maintain things. Learn how to be somebody who people can come to for help. You need to be able to be that person because, listen, there's not many of those people left. If we leave it in the hands of companies, if we leave it in the hands of the businesses that want to take every single last penny out of our mouth and freaking our cold red hands, like, guys, nobody is going to be there for you when your car breaks down. Like, if you leave it up to a company, if you really leave it up to a company, think about insurance companies, right? They don't care. Businesses are only there to make money. Businesses are not here to provide the best service, provide the ultimate experience when it comes to something, right? If you have a business and your only goal is to provide a specific service for the good out of your heart, then that's a charity, and that's different. But a business is there to make money because without the money, the business won't exist. So you need to be able to understand that and see that when things break, when things that you own, things that you purchase, things that you have eventually, fail, you're going to need to be the person that's going to step up and fix that because, again, if you leave it in the hands of the business, they're just going to want to take money straight from your hands. And we've seen this over and over and over again. Guys, everybody knows there's no such thing as a free lunch. There is no such thing as a product that is made to last nowadays, it feels like, right? Look at iPhones. Look at most of the technology that we use today. There's just so many companies that I feel kind of dropped the ball when it comes to having a product that's repairable and fixable and just actually able to like do something with it. There is so much software and services and things nowadays that are just there to drain money from the end user. And there's not enough people who are willing to actually go in there and fix it and learn something about it. And that's what I'm trying to teach you today. It's like you have to be one of those people, because this is like it, guys. This is the precipice. With AI and all the new technology that's coming out today, being able to look at a piece of code, being able to look at something that's broken and say to yourself, okay, I can fix that and I don't have to rely on a machine to do it, is a huge skill. Obviously, you can use AI. I'm not saying that you can't or anything like that, but like being able to actually synthesize and create a solution from your own brain is going to be like a really valuable skill, because we're taking critical thinking out of the equation with all of these solutions and all of these tools. Critical thinking and being able to say why, like, I need to pay attention, I need to understand the machinations and how these things work, is such an amazing skill, because like that's not going to exist eventually. Eventually it's just going to be done for you, and then you lose out on jobs, you lose out on opportunities, you become somebody who is fed from the machine. It's the information that you're getting, it just isn't valuable because it's just not something that you can get normally. And that's why reading books is so important too. I mean, like, I've been reading, $100 Million Offers, Start With Why, 4 Hour Work Week, all of these business books, all of these things, because all this content is available. It's like ready and like able to be learned, and you should start learning, because if you don't, like I said, it's going to be really tough in the future. I kind of want to talk about sacrifice and being able to understand that what you're doing now, when you are fixing something, when you are cursing and something's not working, that investment of time, that exact second and moment that you're putting in the effort towards getting something done, that will pay you off so much, guys. The investment of time and energy to learn a new skill versus the payoff of that new skill is huge. Like, if you really think about it, you only need to learn how to ride a bike once in order to ride a bike for your entire life. You only need to be able to learn how to edit once in order to get a skill that you can use and sell for your entire life. Like, there are so many things that you can spend an afternoon learning. Not even afternoon, maybe even like 2 or 3 days, and almost become a master at it. I think editing and, things that you do digitally online are great, but think about things that you could do in person too. Fixing a sink, being able to change a tire, being able to do these things that you wouldn't have to pay a service for. I'm saying there's nothing wrong with having to pay for a service and all that stuff like that, but if you actually know how to do that, if you are somebody who people can look to and actually get guidance from, guys, being an authority, being somebody who is that guy is things that it's huge. It's genuinely huge. There are just so many people. There are so many amazing people out there who just don't have a voice, don't speak up, and don't actually show off and like give to the world like what is valuable and what is necessary. If we actually collectively as humanity work together to solve the problems that we had, and tried solving the problem of hunger, tried solving the problem of the technology that is used against us, like being pretty crappy, and all these issues, if every single company in the world actually wanted to move and progress humanity forward and not just focus on corporate greed and all that stuff, I'm telling you, we would be in a completely different place, because there is not many people like that left in this world. There are dwindling numbers of plumbers, electricians, blue-collar people who, maybe they don't know how to work an Excel spreadsheet or how to use Microsoft Copilot, but they understand how things work and how the physics and actual, workings of it are. I'm not even talking about physics, like the numbers and stuff like that, but just, the actual physical representation of the space that thing takes up. They understand how, from the electricity of this thing runs to this thing, they get it, right? You need to be able to look at an engine and say, okay, that's how that works because this thing works with this thing works with that. There is such a push towards making humans less involved with that process. All these car companies, they cover their entire engine with just a cover, and they make it so that you have to go in person and have to get its service, and you have to go to the Apple Genius Bar in order to get something fixed. Guys, you need to pop open the hood of some of these things. You need to look at problems, and you need to see and actually ask yourself, how do things work? Because that is exactly what our ancestors did before us. That is exactly what the people who created society nowadays, exactly what they did. They said, we need to pop the hood of this problem. We need to pop the hood of just existence in general. How do we get humanity to a level where everybody can survive, everybody can get food, everybody can have and grow and continue to grow, right? That's a really hard problem to solve. So don't start with that problem. Start with something small. Start with fixing that battery on your remote, TV remote. Guys, everybody has a TV remote, and I'm guessing, one person watching this, their TV remote is dead. Go change the batteries out. How does a battery even work? How do you even store charge within a lithium ion cell or just like, a regular AA battery? How does alkaline energy work? Like, you don't need to understand everything, but if you can understand at least one piece of something, one little small component of it, you can actually add onto that piece of knowledge, and it just keeps building onto it, and it keeps getting better and keeps improving. Like, there is so much information you can get once you learn one thing, because everything's connected. Like, everything is connected. The electricity that is powering this camera right now is also running through me. It's running through all these lights. It's running through every single thing that exists and is alive right now. The metals that are powering the CPU in this are mined in a factory somewhere. And then that factory, or they're mined and processed in a country where they have a factory, and that factory produces the same metal that goes into the car and the tripod that I'm using. And it's like, everything is connected. Everything. So if everything works, then why do we need to pay attention? Because if you don't, then you might be missing out. And you might be learning a little bit less. And this entire channel is about learning. It's about becoming better. It's about making the best out of life. It's about turning your passions into things that you can actually create something out of. You don't have to be the best at everything. You don't have to be the expert. You don't have to know exactly what is going on with everything. But guys, if you're there and you're just able to actually open your eyes and see a problem and kind of figure it out, you don't have to be an expert at that thing, because you'll know that when there's a problem around you, you'll be able to solve it. You'll know that, hey, even though that car is like a different model and has a different gas and a different oil filter and uses all this different stuff, I could probably still figure it out, right? You can be somebody who pops up in the back of a computer or pops up in the back of, whatever electronic, and be like, that's where the motherboard is, that's where the RAM is. You just have to switch these things out, right? It's like, being able to do that is such a huge skill. And I'm telling you, if you feel like you're missing out on life, if you feel like you don't have enough skills, just start poking and prodding and pulling things apart and trying to put them back together. Like, you need to understand that everything comes at a cost. Everything comes at a sacrifice. If we let corporations, if we let big business essentially control the amount of knowledge necessary in order to fix something, if they say, no, it's too difficult for you to solve, it's too much, you have to go to a center, like, that is how you lose your humanity. That's how you essentially become reliant on the structures that are around you. And being self-reliant isn't exactly what you always need. There's some things in society everybody should enjoy, hot water, sewer, all these things. Like, you need those things in life, right? But also being able to know that if everything went to crap and the whole of society fell, or, one day the power is out or something's out, you'd be able to survive and you'd be able to be fine. And this is not doomsday prepping type crap. This is just me telling you guys that being able to pay attention, being able to figure things out, not only helps you in the long run, but it saves you money, and it will make you appear more knowledgeable, make you into a better person. So if you're interested, I really recommend taking something apart, learning from it, and trying to put it back together, because that will change your life. And I promise that. This is Matt from the Live Company. I hope you learned something, and thanks for watching. Peace.